I have to get this done as fast as possible. Oh my gosh. Get him, Marlo. Today I'm standing in front of our project house and we are going to be turning this vinyl ceiling into a stunning showstopper. For this project we'll be using 1x6 tongue and groove material, and it's a lot easier to stain the project while it's on the ground and not on the ceiling. So I took the time to put stain on all the boards and let them dry in the sun. The next day, Kelly used a lamb's wool mitt to apply polyurethane, and then we set those out to dry. This video is sponsored by Flexaspot. Be sure to check out my video description for discount codes. I considered setting up some scaffolding, but I think by the time that I got the scaffolding set up and moved around, I'd spend just as much time doing that than working on the ceiling. First thing I'm going to do is work at getting this old hanging light down. That was a wasp. Hopefully I've ran off all the wasp and I can remove this collar on the light fixture now. I'm interested to see how they connected this. Generally it's a flange with a nail or a screw every, say, 12 or 15 inches, 16 inches apart. But this soffit is really holding on nicely. Another difference I see in a lot of standard installs is we have plywood underneath here. That's because this house was built in the 70s, and at one time that's what they used on the underside. A lot of times in new construction now, the soffit is applied directly to the roof rafters and there's nothing underneath, it's just free floating across the rafters. If I can get this, there we go, nope. If I can get this where it interlocks, let's let leverage be our friend. There we go. You can see how now that I have it started, I have something to work with. Making some progress now. You can see the flange I was talking about, and you can see they use screws, and you can also see the channel that the ceiling goes into. It had just been a few minutes later and my camera tripod was blown over again by the wind. It was definitely picking up and the weather was changing quickly. Little did I know I was getting ready to run to another obstacle, and they were called wasps. Lots of them. No, they're not. We evicted a lot of wasps and Arlo was very excited. Get him, Arlo. Get him. So maybe a good tip would be to wait till the temperatures dropped and do it in the fall, because these things are everywhere and they're sluggish when it's cold. I didn't let the wind and the wasps stop me. I continued on and managed to get all of the vinyl off. I then used my drill to take off all of the screws that were left from the vinyl. Took about 4 hours to get to this point. I've taken all of the vinyl down on the ceiling and also on the perimeter beam all the way around. Next step is to get all of the screws that are falling on the ground and all the pieces of plastic. I've kind of thrown them over here in the grass out of my way. Started out in the sun and it moved on to wind. We've had rain, we've had every type of weather. The good thing is it's not that cold. It's like 58 degrees, still feels nice out here. The cold is coming in 2 days. That's why I have to get this done as fast as possible, because it's going to be like 30 degrees and I don't want to be working out here in that. My next step is to get the tools out, set up a little workshop. Doesn't matter that it's raining, and I want to get this, the beams up and start getting this ceiling done. Is that something to secure it to? Yep. I'm gonna have to use some screws. I'm just kind of getting it close first.
Were the wasps tame when you took that chandelier down?
I bet I've seen 300 wasps, and they were sluggish. 6, I said 8 1/4. Let me check that shadow line. We'll go ahead and put a mark on here. That's good on that one. Okay, there's your stop block. You can get all 3 of those made and I'll set our workbench up. That was a dumb move. I tacked it in with a nailer on both sides. There's a little bit of bow on it. When I put the screw in there, it pulled it out the other side. So I'm gonna tack it in this time with screws. Yeah, this has got a little rock in it. So it's obvious when I pushed that one down, it pulled that side out. Next, I'm creating a faux beam that's going to be a divider space for each section in front of the post. And the main reason why I'm doing this is where I can wrap the crown molding around and have 3 different cavities. But it's also so when I run the tongue and groove this way, when you have expansion and contraction, that's 30 some feet across, and each board moving can be a lot of movement. So this is gonna break up that movement and allow me to have an airspace all the way around each section. So I'm just gonna tack this together. I'll worry about this side first.
I'm showing the most easy way to assemble this with just nails, but you could also use pocket screws or biscuits, but this will hold up nicely. Primarily because I'm installing it to a 2x4 solid piece underneath, so there's really nowhere for it to go.
The ceiling is bowed.
The ceiling is bowed, huh? I need to tack it in the middle. The ceiling actually bows down in the middle, so we have a gap on each side. So just to hold it into place, I went ahead and tacked it with about 5 nails on each side. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll use the level and I'll actually screw it in. The 2x4 gives me more room to bite into, so it really doesn't matter that there's a gap up here because it's gonna be covered up with molding on both sides. All right, it's pretty much dead on within the middle there, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put some screws on this all the way down on both sides and just ignore that the ceiling has got a bow in it. Okay, the rain started up again, but we're not going to let it slow us down. We just went and got some of the ones that we have pre-stained last weekend, and then this morning we put fast drying clear on there. That's going to save a lot of time and not have to work overhead. The way this is set up, it's a 1x6 tongue and groove. It has a groove on this side and a tongue on this side. You can use it with the flat side where it has a bevel, or you can use it on this side where there's actually a second bevel, so they'll look like smaller planks if you use it on this side. For this project, I'm going to go with the wider plank look. And the other thing I need to keep in mind is that when you install these, the expansion and contraction is on the ends. So the longer you go across with the width, the more it's going to grow in seasonal movement. I've been to houses before where it looks like an ocean and they don't know why. And it's because when you're installing this, people will try to put it tight as can be. I'd advise to give a little bit of wiggle room. That way when it expands and contracts, it doesn't affect the whole run. It's really going to help, I mentioned earlier, but it's really going to help that we're separating this out with a beam. We're also running them from front to back, so we're not going to have any butt joints. Sometimes they run the long way and you have to have butt joints. I prefer to not have those, so I'm going to cut and run these this way. It's just under 8 feet, and these are 8-foot boards. It should all go across. So we're going to start our first piece here in a second, and once we get that going, we're going to leave some spaces around the edge. I'd say with the crown molding, we can leave a 1/2 inch, plenty of room, because the molding is going to cover a lot. If you weren't doing molding, I would leave at least a 1/4 inch on each side and then add some type of thin trim at least so you have some room for expansion and contraction. I put the first piece up and made sure I had a gap on each side just by using my finger as a guide. And I nailed it into the tongue side and I face mounted on the part because it's going to be covered up with molding. And now we're to a point where we just had to cut out a notch. And I'm going to go up and put that one, and after that we'll be able to make some quick movement across this because they'll be all the same size. Hope this fits. Flexaspot reached out to me about sponsoring this video and trying out their solid wood bed frame with Japanese joinery. The timing was perfect because our daughter recently moved into her first apartment and needed a bed. The Japanese joinery intrigued me, so we chose the Kano wood frame with dark finish and a pillow board for the headboard. I found the user manual in the box and started looking at it as my daughter continued to unpack things. I was really convinced I would need some type of tool, but it said I didn't, so we moved forward.
We started with the main exterior frame, and the legs fit right into the slots and just slide down in place. And these cool little locking pins really lock it in tight. Next were the center supports, and they slid right into place, no tools needed. I really like the way the slats are made on canvas, and they have Velcro ends, and they just roll right into place and attach to the bed frame. Next up was to add the available pillow board from Flexaspot, and we are done. For more information or to buy a bed of your own, go to flexaspot.com. There we go. My jigsaw still had the Collins coping foot base attached to it, so I used it like I was coping crown to cut out for the ceiling box, and it worked. I then took the next board and placed it into position so that I could mark for the ceiling box and cut that one as well. And then it was back to the jigsaw for my unconventional sawing method. Maybe I'll start something new with this method, or I'm just too lazy to change out my base, I don't know. And it's finally time for crown. I set up the crown stops on my saw, and I got some laser measurements, and I had to add some to the base of my saw from the back fence because it was too tall for the saw to hold properly. So after some test cuts, it was time to do some crown. I'm going to stay fairly high level on the crown molding because I have a fairly extensive video out called Upside Down and Backwards How to Cut Crown Molding that's been very popular, and it goes over the methods that I'm using for crown. So if you want to learn more about crown, feel free to go out and check that video out. But in the meantime, this is a quick view of doing some coping. Here I'm using a scrap of crown to mark how far the molding comes down on the wall. My first piece is easy. It's just flat on both sides, and it just dies into the wall, and it fit nicely. Then I used my coped piece to go up against each flat piece on each side. Sounds a little more complicated than it is. Once you get the hang of it, it's not bad, but it really gives a nice tight fitting joint.
Today the weather calls for a mild day, and I'm going to try to get this ceiling knocked out. One difference I'm going to do this time is I remember to bring my Exoactive skeleton, which is going to be great because lifting the Milwaukee nailer with the big huge battery on each side, really feeling your shoulders, and you feel it all over when you're trying to do that all day long. So this will support my arms, the weight of it while I'm doing it, and it should make a huge difference. I really wished I'd brought this last time. The way this works is you got a little control panel here, and you can adjust how much it helps you out, and you can also adjust where it helps you out. You can have it help you from lifting from here up, or you can have it where it's just overhead, which is what I'm going to do, so it doesn't affect when I'm at the miter saw. So I have it set to about this high and up. This is where it helps support my arms. It's going to make a big difference today working with this. Another convenient feature, it has a pause button, so if you're doing something that you don't want to help, you can just hit pause and it'll completely deactivate. You can move around freely. Here we go, supported. Here's a perfect example. Right now it's fighting me. I'm just gonna push pause. Now I have free arm movement. Whoa, I need that bag.
Every time I show myself using the Exoactive, I usually get a lot of negative comments of people saying they would never use it on the job site, but there was a time when a lot of technology didn't exist, and I like to try everything out, and this does make a big difference on the job site and just being less tired.
Oh yeah, thank you. That is freaking perfect.
That means it's straight all the way across.
That wasn't by accident, you know. That wasn't by accident.
Nope. Okay.
So that pretty much covers the project. After putting on the crown and the other two cavities, it's done, and it turned out amazing.